Welcome back to the deep dive. It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026. And today we're doing something that feels a little bit like, well, like Inception.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because we're turning the microscope on the very medium we are swimming in right now.
Right.
Because if you've been paying attention to your feed lately, and I mean really paying attention, not just, passively letting the autoplay run, you've probably noticed that the podcasting world has undergone this massive structural transformation.
It really has. It's night and day.
It is. It's no longer just two people in a garage with a couple of Shure SM7Bs talking about their favorite movies. That era, I mean, it's effectively over.
It is over. I think we're going to look back at the garage podcaster era the same way we look at the early days of blogging.
Like LiveJournal or something.
Exactly. It was charming. It was very human. But it has been replaced by something much more industrial and, frankly, much more synthetic.
Synthetic is the perfect word for it. Because we're looking at a multi-platform ecosystem now that is defined by a term that just kept popping up in our research stack all morning.
I know exactly the phrase you're talking about.
Right. I'd never heard this specific phrase before today, but now I just can't unsee it. The invisible co-host.
The invisible co-host. It sounds like a ghost story, doesn't it?
It really does.
Like something out of a Victorian Gothic novel.
Yeah, but we need to define this immediately for everyone listening, because we aren't talking about, like, a producer waving from the control booth behind a glass window.
No.
And we aren't talking about a literal ghost.
No, absolutely not. When we say invisible co-host, we are talking about a synthetic entity.
Okay, break that down for us.
We are talking about the convergence of three very distinct technologies that have matured incredibly rapidly over the last 18 months.
Right.
You've got high-fidelity voice cloning, you've got real-time conversation capability, and you have automated script orchestration.
So it's not just a voice reading a page anymore.
Not at all. It is the code in the machine that can banter with you, it can research for you, and in some cases, it can literally host the show for you.
Wow. So our mission for this deep dive today is to unpack all of that. The tools, the ethics, and the absolute reality of this shift.
It's a lot to cover.
It is, but we need to ask the uncomfortable question. Is the voice in your ear human, or is it a neural network with a billion parameters just simulating empathy?
And honestly, does the listener even care anymore?
Ooh, that's the bigger question.
Right, because by the end of this hour, we want you to understand why 41% of listeners, and statistically, that's probably you now prefer watchable podcasts.
41%, that's huge.
We're also going to look at why latency has become the new battleground for audio supremacy.
Replacing basic audio quality, yeah.
Exactly. And we'll discuss how a law with a very famous name, the LVAS Act, might literally be the only thing protecting your voice from being stolen and used to sell car insurance.
It is a brave new world out there. So let's jump right into section 1, which is really just looking at the landscape of 2026.
Big picture.
Yeah. We need to parse this distinction between AI native and human native, because for 20 years, podcasting was strictly human native. It was biological by default.
Right, the process was purely biological. A human had an idea, a human sat down, a human recorded an authentic conversation.
The technology was just there to catch it.
The microphones, the digital audio workstations, the RSS feeds, it was just plumbing. It was passive. It captured what was already there in the room.
I mean, tools like Descript were there to help edit, sure, but the source material was always a person breathing air.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
But now, here in 2026, we have the emergence of AI-native podcasting.
And this is a totally new paradigm.
Completely. We aren't just using tools to polish the audio anymore. The tools are generating the audio.
Right.
Platforms like Jellypod, for example. They aren't just editing suites. They are showrunners.
This blew my mind when I read about it. Explain how Jellypod actually functions for the user, because I think people still imagine you have to record something.
That's the thing. You don't record a single second.
Not a second.
That's the entire shift. You just give it a text prompt. Or maybe you dump a pile of research documents, PDFs, or just a URL into the system.
Okay.
And Jellypod builds the show. It designs AI hosts with specific backstories. It gives them personality quirks, distinct speaking styles.
That's wild.
The starting point is no longer a human voice box. It's data.
So you could literally say, I want a show about gardening, hosted by a grumpy old man and an optimistic young botanist, and it just generates it.
Exactly. And it creates a dynamic between them. It's procedural generation, but for personality.
And this isn't just a niche thing for tech geeks anymore, is it?
Not at all.
This ties into something Rob Greenlee pointed out in our sources. He mentioned that we've moved from a creator-first phase to an audience-first era. I really want to drill down on that. What does that actually mean for the industry as a whole?
It's a complete inversion of power, really. In a creator-first era, the industry revolves around the person with the microphone.
Right. You listen to me because I have something to say.
Exactly. It's ego-driven, in a neutral sense.
Sure.
But in an audience-first era, the industry revolves around meeting the listener exactly where they are.
And where are they?
Increasingly, where they are is on video-first platforms, like YouTube. They are demanding content that is tailored to them, available instantly on their terms.
So they don't necessarily care who made it. They care that it exists and that it solves their problem.
Correct. Which completely explains the explosion of what they're calling informational podcasting.
Oh, man, I feel like I see this everywhere now.
Right. It's not comedy. It's not true crime.
It's not entertainment in the traditional sense at all.
No, it's utility. We are seeing an absolute boom in utility-based audio.
Like, who's making this?
Consultants, researchers, corporate communications teams, people who do not have the time or the desire to set up a studio and record for 3 hours.
They just bypass the professional recording equipment entirely.
Completely. They're using AI to convert their white papers, their blogs, their internal memos into high-quality audio experiences.
The classic example here in the research is Google's Notebook LM.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember when this first started making waves back in, late 24, it felt like a magic trick.
It really redefined the category.
Yeah.
Notebook LM creates these things called audio overviews.
Right.
You feed it a dense PDF, let's say a complex medical journal on neuroplasticity, and it generates a deep dive discussion between two AI hosts.
And in the early versions, they were often named Emily and Jack.
Good old Emily and Jack.
I've listened to them. They have this weirdly specific chemistry.
They do. And here is the kicker with that.
Yeah.
People love it.
Really?
Yes. Listeners of shows generated this way, like the Kitsap Publishing Book Review Podcast or PsyQ Journal Club, they're rating them 5 out of 5 stars.
That's fascinating, but let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
Why? Why would I rate a robot 5 stars? Is it just the novelty factor? Or is the content actually better?
It's not novelty anymore. The novelty wears off in about 10 minutes.
Sure.
It's efficiency. For this specific type of content, the listener prioritizes clear synthesis and objective discussion over celebrity charisma or, vibes.
Right, they just want the facts.
They want the information downloaded into their brain. If Emily and Jack can explain the nuances of a medical journal better, faster, and with fewer random tangents than a human stumbling through it, the listener is happy. It is efficiency over ego.
Efficiency over ego. That's a really strong phrase. It suggests we're willing to trade the human touch for a cleaner signal.
In informational contexts, absolutely we are.
But there's another side to this landscape shift, and that's the visual element, the vodcast.
Yes.
Because we aren't just listening anymore.
No, the video podcast is massive. Our data shows that in the U.S., 41% of listeners now prefer watchable podcasts.
That is nearly half the audience. If you aren't doing video, you're basically invisible to half the market.
Exactly. And because of that, we are seeing a visual shift in AI as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about audio generation anymore. Tools like HeyGen and AI Studios are allowing creators to produce video podcasts with AI avatars.
Okay, so walk me through this. I type a script, and then what? I don't need a camera.
You choose an avatar.
Okay.
It could be a stock avatar, or it could be a digital clone of yourself that you captured months ago. You hit render. No camera, no studio, no lighting rig, no bad hair days.
That is crazy.
And you have a video podcast ready for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And since YouTube has become the primary discovery engine for podcasts, literally surpassing Apple Podcasts in many demographics, having that video component is non-negotiable for growth.
It's incredible how the barrier to entry has just totally disintegrated.
It's gone.
But I want to peel back the layers on how this actually sounds because, we've all heard robotic voices before.
Right.
We know what a 2010 GPS sounds like. Turn left at the next street.
Right.
It has that metallic sort of stilted cadence. But 2026 is different. So let's move to section 2, the technology. Crossing the uncanny valley.
We haven't just crossed the valley. We've built a condo in it. We are living there.
How, though? What actually changed in the engineering? Because for a long time, text-to-speech was just kind of stuck.
The fundamental jump was from concatenative synthesis to deep learning.
Concatenative synthesis.
Yeah, concatenative synthesis was basically gluing together little snippets of pre-recorded sound.
Like a ransom note made of magazine clippings?
Exactly like that. You have a recording of someone saying "the" and someone saying "cat," and you glue them together. It works, but it looks and sounds really choppy. The intonation never matches up properly.
And now?
Now, we use neural networks with billions of parameters.
Yeah.
These models don't just read text. They understand the context of the speech.
How do you mean?
They understand that a question sounds different than a statement. They understand that a whisper conveys intimacy. They predict the acoustic wave. They don't just paste a foam.
Okay, let's look at the heavy hitters in this space then, because we have a few names that keep coming up in the industry reports.
Right.
11 Labs, In-World AI, and Cartesia. I really want to break these down because they serve different masters, so to speak. Who is 11 Labs?
Think of 11 Labs as the narrative king.
Yeah.
They have absolutely cornered the market on high-fidelity storytelling.
Okay.
Their multilingual V2 model is the industry benchmark for what we call expressive delivery.
So this is what you'd use if you were making an audiobook.
Exactly. Audiobooks, complex narrative podcasts, or what's known as professional voice cloning, PVC.
PVC. Got it.
But to get this level of quality, you usually need to provide about 30 to 180 minutes of audio training data.
That's a lot of audio. Why so much? I mean, can't they do it with 3 seconds? I've seen ads on social media saying they can clone you in 3 seconds.
They can do it with 3 seconds for a quick meme, sure,
Mm-hmm.
or a voicemail prank. But for a long-form podcast, no.
Yeah.
You need the deep data to prevent voice drift.
Voice drift? What is that?
Imagine the AI is like a battery. If the model doesn't have enough data on how you sound when you're excited or tired or laughing, the AI voice can start to sound monotone.
Oh, I see.
Or it loses its unique characteristics over a 45-minute recording. It reverts to the mean. It just starts sounding like a generic robot again.
Kind of forgets how to be you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
11 Labs is fantastic at preventing this, but it does have one major drawback. Latency.
Latency.
The delay. Right. It has a latency of about 300 milliseconds or more.
300 milliseconds? I mean, that sounds fast to me. That's a third of a second. Why is that a problem?
It's incredibly fast for generating a file offline, but for a real-time conversation, it's an eternity.
Oh, because of the back and forth.
Right. If you were chatting with an AI, a 300 millisecond delay plus normal network time makes it feel like you're on a bad satellite connection from the 90s.
Yeah, that awkward pause.
It totally breaks the illusion of presence. You start talking over each other. It kills any kind of comedy timing.
Got it. So 11 Labs is for offline, high-quality, polished content where time doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Who is the interactive powerhouse then?
That would be In-World AI. They are currently rated #1 on the artificial analysis speech arena. They have an ELO score of 11,162.
High score.
Very high. And they're drastically cheaper, too, about $10 per 1 million characters.
Wow, compared to the competitors.
Yeah, a fraction of the cost. But their real secret weapon is the agent runtime.
Agent runtime.
This allows developers to build complete voice agent pipelines that are orchestrated by large language models.
So In-World is building the brains and the voice together in one package.
Precisely. They optimize for the character staying in character.
Yeah.
But if you want pure speed,
Yeah.
if you want to interrupt the AI and have it react instantly, you need Cartesia.
Cartesia. In the sources, they call themselves the speed demon.
And for very good reason. We are talking about a time to first audio, or TTFA, of 90 milliseconds.
90 milliseconds. That is instant.
It is.
That's essentially the time it takes for sound to travel across a large room.
It is faster than human reaction time in many cases. Cartesia uses a totally different architecture.
How so?
While most models use transformers, which are great but computationally heavy, Cartesia uses state-space models, or SSMs.
Okay, we need to pause right here. Explain SSMs like I'm 5, or maybe 12. What makes an SSM different from the transformers we hear about in, like ChatGPT?
Okay. Imagine a transformer is like reading a whole book at once to understand a single sentence.
Okay.
It looks back and forth. It checks the beginning of the sentence against the end to understand the full context. It's very smart, but it's slow.
Right.
An SSM is like reading the sentence linearly, word by word, but remembering the context perfectly as it flows. It streams the data linearly.
So it doesn't have to look back.
It doesn't have to reprocess the whole sequence every single time. It's much more efficient for audio, which is naturally a linear format.
Because audio happens in time, 1 second after another.
Exactly. SSMs match that physics. If you want a live AI co-host to banter with you in real time, you need that sub 500 millisecond total response time. Cartesia delivers that.
So we have the high-fidelity narrator, which is 11 Labs. We have the interactive brain, in-world, and the speed racer, Cartesia.
That's the landscape.
But there's another layer to this tech that I found really cool in the reading, audio markup. Because words are just words. It's how you say them.
This is where the acting comes in.
It's like acting.
Yeah, the models now support tags within the text, almost like stage directions in a script.
Synthesized stage directs.
Exactly. You can insert a tag like bracket, happy bracket, or sad, or whisper, even nonverbal sounds.
Like what?
Like breathe, cough, or sigh.
That is wild. So you can type a sentence and just tell the AI to sigh halfway through it?
Yes. Platforms like Fish Audio are really leading the way here. They allow for phrase-level emotion control.
Wow.
You can make a voice sound professional and composed in the first half of a sentence, and then completely excited or breathless in the second half.
That creates the illusion of presence. I mean, it's the ums and the breath that make us sound human.
It's the imperfections. We are engineering imperfection to achieve realism.
That's paradoxical, but it makes sense.
If it's too perfect, the human brain rejects it. But if it stumbles, we trust it.
Engineering imperfection. That is a concept I really want to sit with. But we have to move on to how people are actually using these tools in the wild. Let's move to section 3, the workflow revolution. Because it seems like we aren't just talking about individual tools anymore, we are talking about agents.
We're moving from tools to agents, yes. Agentic AI is the massive buzzword of 2026.
What's the real difference there?
A tool waits for you to click a button. An agent executes a workflow autonomously.
So instead of me opening 5 different apps, the AI does all the handoffs for me.
Correct. Podcasters are now using a stack of tools connected by automation platforms like NAN, Make, or Microsoft Copilot Studio.
Walk us through a typical 2026 production playbook. If I want to make a podcast today and I want to use this stack, what does that step-by-step actually look like?
Okay, step 1 is ideation and research. You aren't staring at a blank page anymore.
Thank goodness.
You are using ChatGPT, likely with the Canvas interface or Notebook LM. You feed it your PDFs, your URLs, your raw notes.
And it generates the script. But I've seen some of these scripts. They can be really dry. Like, hello, listeners. Today we will discuss. It sounds like a high school essay.
That's where the human skill still comes in. The pro tip is that creators are instructing the AI to adopt a persona with flaws.
Flaws.
Yeah. You tell the AI, you are a skeptical expert who hates jargon, or you are a curious novice who gets easily distracted.
Oh, like that.
This completely avoids that generic, overly polite AI tone.
So you program the conflict, you program the personality flaws into the prompt.
You program the dynamic. Exactly. Step 2 is scripting. You might use Wondercraft or Jasper for branding consistency, or pseudo-write if you're doing narrative fiction.
Oh.
And you are likely using Descript for text-based editing.
Which is editing the audio by literally deleting the text. Descript has been a game changer for a while.
Right. Then step 3 is synthesis. This is where you actually generate the voice. You might use 11 Labs or Podcastle here. And there is a specific technique creators use here called chunked generation.
Chunked generation! Why chunk it?
Instead of piecing the whole script in at once, you generate the audio in short paragraphs. This helps reduce that voice drift we talked about earlier.
Oh, right.
It keeps the energy fresh for every segment. It resets the baseline for the AI so it doesn't get bored.
Smart. It resets the energy. Okay, step 4.
Step 4 is video and visuals.
Yeah.
You use Hagen for avatars if you don't want to be on camera.
Sure.
Or if you are recording a human interview, you use Riverside.fm. Riverside has this feature called Magic Clips that auto-identifies viral moments for TikTok or Reels.
It just finds the gold nuggets for you.
Yeah. And finally, step 5 is post-production and mixing. You use Auphonic.
I've heard of Auphonic. It's the one-click mixing engineer one.
That's the one. It uses adaptive leveling to balance speakers. So the quiet guest and the loud host sound exactly the same.
That saves so much time.
And it has intelligent noise reduction to clean up bad microphones.
And what's the real impact of this whole stack? Is it just that it's cool, or does it actually save money?
Efficiency is the primary driver here. Top-performing podcasters are integrating at least 3 of these tools. Automated workflows can reduce production costs by 30%.
30%. That is a massive margin for an independent creator.
It means you can produce 3 times the content for the exact same price.
It sounds incredibly efficient, but also, I don't know, potentially legally hazardous.
Very hazardous.
This brings us to section 4, the legal and ethical minefield. Because if I can clone a voice in 30 seconds, what's stopping me from cloning anyone's voice? What prevents me from having Taylor Swift host my podcast about knitting?
That is the big question right now. We are dealing with an authenticity gap. And before we even get to the actual laws, we have to talk about the cultural tension.
Right.
While AI can replicate the sound, it still struggles with the soul of conversation. The vulnerability, the hesitation, true surprise.
There was that famous moment with Joe Rogan back in October 2025.
Yes, Katie Sackhoff was on the show.
Right.
She criticized AI music and voice, saying it was robbing human artists. And Joe Rogan, who was rarely at a loss for words, was completely speechless.
He didn't have a comeback at all.
He really didn't.
Wow.
It perfectly highlighted that tension between cool tech and the moral weight of replacing human expression.
But it's not just a moral issue anymore, is it? It's a legal one. Voice is no longer just sound waves in the air.
Correct. Voice is now legally recognized as biometric property.
Biometric property, like a fingerprint or a retina scan.
Exactly. And we have seen an absolute flurry of legislation to protect it. The big one everyone talks about is the ELVI Act in Tennessee.
Such a great name. Only Tennessee could pull that off.
Right. The Ensuring Likeness, Voice, and Image Security Act. It explicitly criminalizes unauthorized digital voice replication. Then you have AB 1836 out in California, which codifies voice rights, especially for deceased celebrities. And globally, you've got the EU AI Act, which mandates strict labeling for synthetic content.
This all really kicked off with the Scarlett Johansson case back in 2024, didn't it?
That was the massive precedent. The conflict with OpenAI regarding unauthorized voice imitations set the stage for everything we are seeing today.
Because they used a voice that sounded remarkably like hers.
Exactly. It established that you cannot just take someone's vibe without their permission, even if it's not a 100% perfect acoustic match. If the intent is to mimic, you are liable.
So if I am a podcaster today, how do I stay safe? What is the actual protocol? Can I just get a verbal okay from my guest?
Absolutely not. The only defensible strategy is informed written consent.
Get it in writing, always.
Always. And be hyper-specific. We look at the Soundverse framework in the industry. It's a 6-stage ethical framework used by a lot of pros.
What does that include?
It includes things like permission-based DNA encoding and traceable export.
Permission-based DNA encoding. That sounds straight out of sci-fi.
It really does. It just means the permission is baked into the file itself using metadata and watermarking.
Ah, okay.
And here is a crucial nuance that creators miss all the time. Owning a recording does not grant the right to clone the guest's voice.
Wait, really? Let's clarify that. So if I interview you for this show, I own the recording of the show.
Yes.
But I can't put you into 11 Labs.
Correct. You own the copyright to the performance of that specific interview.
Good.
You do not own my biometric data.
Wow.
Just because you interviewed someone doesn't mean you can feed that interview into a model and have them say brand new things. That was a massive legal distinction.
It's a copyright trap. I bet a lot of people are walking right into that one without realizing it.
They absolutely are. And the platforms are enforcing this now. You can't just upload deepfakes to YouTube anymore.
YouTube is very strict now.
Very. They require disclosure of meaningfully altered or synthetically generated content. If you fail to label it, you get demonetized or outright banned.
And Spotify and Apple.
Same thing. Metadata must disclose if AI generated a material portion of the audio, and they are actively using detection tools.
Like what?
Things like Resemble Detect and Perth watermarking. They are running in the background constantly, scanning for deepfakes and verifying authentic audio.
So the Wild West days are effectively over. The sheriff is in town.
Fences are being built, yes.
Yeah.
And that stability is actually what's allowing the real money to flow in.
Let's talk about that money. Section 5. Economics and the future. Because despite the legal hurdles, this is a booming business.
It is. And the biggest moneymaker right now isn't actually making new shows. It's globalization.
This is the global from day one strategy we were reading about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Previously, if you made a podcast in English, you had an English-speaking audience. Maybe you'd get some listeners in Europe who speak English as a second language.
Sure.
But now, creators are using AI to dub podcasts into Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi instantly.
But not just dubbing like a bad kung fu movie where the lips don't match.
No, preserving the original host's voice print.
That's the crazy part.
Tools like Spotify Voice Translation, 11 Labs, and Rask AI allow me to speak Spanish with my voice, even if I don't speak a single word of the language.
That just opens up massive, massive markets.
It does. English is still 61% of content, but Spanish is at 11% and Portuguese is at 6%, and those numbers are growing incredibly fast.
Wow.
If you can unlock the Latin American market with the click of a button, you've just doubled your potential ad revenue.
And speaking of revenue, the numbers in the projections are huge.
Global podcast ad revenue is projected to hit $5 billion in 2026.
5 billion.
And the professional creators, the ones earning over 100 grand, they're the ones adopting these agentic AI strategies. They are scaling their output without scaling their costs.
There is also a shift in the plumbing of podcasting that I want to touch on. Rob Greenlee mentioned something about HLS versus RSS.
Yes.
This sounds super technical, but why does it matter to the business side of things?
Well, RSS, Real Simple Syndication, is the old, reliable technology of podcasting. It's open, it's free, but it's really showing its age.
Why is that?
It's essentially a static file dump. You download the MP3, and I have absolutely no idea what you did with it after that.
Right. You don't know if I listened to the ads or skipped them.
Exactly. HLS, or HTTP live streaming, is what Netflix uses.
For variable bitrate.
Yes. It means the audio quality adjusts to your internet connection. But more importantly for the business side, it offers incredibly granular analytics.
What kind of analytics?
With HLS, we can know everything. Did you skip the ad? Did you stop listening exactly when the background music changed? Did you replay the sad part 3 times?
That is absolute data gold for advertisers.
It is. It allows for dynamic ad insertion on steroids, and it paves the way for the next massive leap, which is interactive audio.
This brings us right back to Notebook LM and that interactive mode.
Yes. This is where the podcast completely breaks the mold and becomes a two-way conversation.
Meaning the listeners can interrupt the AI hosts?
They can interrupt and ask questions in real time, like, wait, explain that part again, or what about this other perspective?
And the AI host stops, answers you, and then just continues the show.
Exactly. It's no longer a broadcast. It's a seminar. It's a tutorial. And look at Spotify's AI DJ.
Oh, yeah.
That is essentially a global, invisible co-host for millions of people, curating music and commentary specifically for you.
It's personalized mass media.
Which is a total oxymoron that is now just a daily reality.
So bringing it all together for our outro, we are really in this hybrid era right now. It feels like we are at a crossroads.
We definitely are. AI handles the scale, the dubbing, the clips, the research, the rote voicing. Humans provide the emotional core.
And there is this concept we read about, the human premium.
Yes. As we see more AI slop, and that is the actual industry term for low-quality generated feeds flooding the directories.
There are over 10,000 flagged feeds of this slop right now, aren't there?
At least 10,000. So when you hear a real human take a breath or stumble over a word or laugh genuinely, it becomes a premium product. Scarcity drives value.
It's like buying a handmade table versus one you get flat-packed from IKEA. The imperfections prove it was made by a person.
Exactly. The flaws are the feature now.
So here is the final provocative thought for everyone listening today. We've talked about latency, we've talked about empathy tags, we've talked about biometric property.
A lot of ground covered.
A ton. But I want you to really visualize this for a second. If an AI host can research deeper than any human ever could, if it can speak in 70 languages fluently, if it never gets tired, never has a bad day, and can banter with you in real time with 90 milliseconds of latency,
Yeah.
does it matter if they have a soul?
That is the ultimate question, isn't it?
If they make you feel something, if they make you laugh or help you understand a deeply complex topic, are you connecting with an entity, or are you just listening to the world's most sophisticated echo?
It's a mirror that talks back, and sometimes the mirror knows more than we do.
Think about that the next time you put your headphones in. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.